Oh, hello everyone. It's your old pal Rick here. I just wanted to take a second to wish everybody a happy fall and maybe talk to you about a sensitive subject. Voting. Now, in case you haven't opened a social media account, ever, or if you're not following a single celebrity on Instagram, you may not realize that in just a few short weeks, we'll be having the presidential election. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably asking yourself, what's all the hubbub about voting this year? Well, some would argue that it's not safe. Others would argue that it is safe. Still others would argue, just because that's what we do here. But this year is different. This is 2020. Simply existing during a time like this, you don't need somebody to tell you that this, on record, is the most ridiculous year in history. So in keeping with that trend, 9 state governments, as well as Washington, D.C., have decided to mail out a ballot to every living, breathing, and dead person registered to vote in the 2020 election. I've got mine right here. Now, contrary to what you see on the news, making sure that your vote counts is not a partisan issue. They both support it, depending on the year and what's at stake. Now, voting the way you want should be your choice, based on your own personal safety standards, which I'm sure have been in no way influenced by the events that have happened this year. But if this new method of voting is encouraged by both politicians and the press, well, I'm sold. And there's no time like the present to try new things. Now, personally, I think I'm going to try the old official drop box method. What could possibly go wrong there? Trust the process. It says right here it's going to be picked up by an official ballot retriever, which is clearly defined as an authorized county employee or representative or poll worker or vote center worker, temporary worker, or volunteer worker retained and authorized by the elections official. Any one of those people. See? Ironclad. Also, there's a tracking number. Right here, just like the U.S. Postal Service uses. Oh, but the U.S. Postal Service is so... Not true. I looked it up on Wikipedia after I sent my dad a Father's Day card that never got to him. It is a shockingly small number. Only 3% of the mail that gets sent every year gets lost. Out of the 154 billion pieces of mail, only 3% go missing. And speaking of small numbers, need I remind you that only 138 million people showed up to vote in the 2016 presidential election? Yeah. So maybe I'll just mail this sucker in. Post office is a safe place. It's not like anyone's gonna burn one of those down in the year 2020. Make sure that it is postmarked either by or on November 3rd. That way you can be on a business trip on the other side of the country and you're rummaging through your briefcase during the meeting and you're like, oh no, my ballot, totally forgot to send that in. I mean, shoot, you can bring it back to the other side of the country and still mail it in as long as it's postmarked. As long as they get it at the mail-in ballot center place 17 days after the election, they still have to count it. Awesome. Don't forget, you gotta sign the thing. Just like you did on your registration card back in 2017 or 4 years ago, whenever it was. Because they're gonna match it and try to verify that it's you. As long as you do that, you're good. Unless, look, please don't sanitize your ballot. I know you're trying to be safe, just like you were when you go to the mailbox and pick your mail up wearing your latex gloves and your mask, and then you read through all the information, still wearing your gloves, and then you sign it, and you put it back in the thing, just like this, while you still got your latex gloves on, and then you gotta seal it, but not by licking it, because that's gonna get germs on there. You gotta moisten it with just tap water, distilled water from a jug. Don't spray the ballot with Lysol, don't spray it with bleach, and if you do, don't put it in the microwave to dry it out or put it in an oven because it will spoil and they can't use it. I don't know why I'm even telling you this, because we're smart and nobody would do anything like that. Lastly, we've had some pretty close calls with voting in person these last 244 years. In an election as important as this one, we don't need boomers dad-splaining how to do things all traditionally old schooly, trying to mess things up. I remember a time when we just flat out almost didn't elect somebody because of voting in person. It was 1918. It was the Spanish flu. No, it was the bird flu. Look, do yourself a favor and don't let anything come between your ballot and the ballot box counter thing that you don't trust implicitly. We've all been getting along so well lately and respecting each other and not legitimately killing each other that I personally wouldn't think twice about putting my ballot in the hand of a total stranger. And in 2020, there couldn't be a more compelling argument that everything goes as planned. So please, just go put your ballot somewhere, and I'll see you back here on election day so that we can sit and watch the news together for the next 4 to 5 months until they figure this whole thing out. Okay? Good luck, America, and happy voting. I'm Rick Lundgren, and I approve this message.